Hello friends, and welcome to a no screen day at the Ghost household. What I'm going to do is walk you through what I started to do, what I think works best, and the things that I do to keep him entertained. So I have a 5-year-old, and if you are new to the channel, I'm Alina Ghost. I do lots of mum comedy shorts as well as 2 long form videos a week too, so make sure to subscribe. We're going to jump straight into it, and I'm going to show you some of the things that we use in order to keep entertained without a screen. So no screen means no TV, no Nintendo Switch, no phones, no iPads. So essentially the idea is to be able to understand how to keep entertained without an electronic device. This doesn't include music, so we do turn music on the Alexa sometimes to just like listen to some fun music, and my son actually has his own playlist, so it's a load of fun that way. I actually want to take you to this morning and show you first how it worked before school, because obviously I don't have control over the school time, so he might be looking at a screen or seeing something, you know, on the whiteboard, like a projector. However, when he comes home, I just want to make sure that we minimize that once a week. The reason for that is I feel like we spend too much time on screens. I don't need to tell you parents this, but like even celebrities are coming out now and saying how much of an issue it is with like the new generation these days and how much time they're spending on the screens. Anyway, without me badgering on about why screens might not be the best thing for you, obviously there's a time and a place for them. I decided to cut them out once a week, and before school this is what we do. So I get him involved as much as possible in my own chores. So I guess I only have one chore in the morning usually, and that's doing the dishwasher, although sometimes I do need to water the plants and things. But essentially that is like a chore that I can get my son involved in. Today he chose only to help with like 1 or 2 things, if that. So, but he did end up doing his own breakfast. So excuse the fact that we have a really old kitchen. We do have the extension work starting next week, which is super exciting. But basically he got a stepping stool, he got up and he got the milk out, he got his cereal, and it does help. It means that I don't need to sort out his breakfast. It means that he's becoming more independent now that he's 5, and it's nice to see that he's not demanding it. You know, sometimes he sits at the screen watching, I don't know, Peppa Pig, let's say, and then he's like, "Mummy, I want this and this," you know, and it's usually fine and I don't mind doing it. However, it's nice to know that he is able to get his own breakfast, and also encourage that independence as well, because he's not glued to watching something specific as well, which is super. So that's the dishwasher, but also you'll see us playing lots as well, so playing lots with cars. And I also took out this numbers game that I've had for absolutely years. I think I saw it on a discount, like even when he was a baby, and I bought it and I thought this will be a great educational game because it's numbers, multiplication, you know, and subtracting, etc. And he absolutely loved it. The fact that he was able to play on his own for a specific amount of time was amazing. The fact that I didn't, like, usually I would find I have to put a lot more effort into no screen days. So not only do I have to plan for stuff, which I'll show you in a bit, but also actually spending more time with my son when I'm trying to, you know, do the dishwasher, get ready, get dressed, teeth brushed, you know, get his school uniform ready, get his bag ready, and, you know, lunch boxes and lunches if that's applicable for the day. So yeah, there's a lot to do. Obviously I've work full-time as well. I now work from home, but I still work, and that's also a mental load and things that I need to sort out on the laptop. So basically it's nice that he is able to entertain himself as well as play with me too. So I do love no screen days because I get to spend lots of time with him as well. So it is a little bit more effort. However, I do think it's worth it. And the last thing I'm going to say before I move on and show you the activities, at the beginning it is going to be hard, I'm not going to lie to you. So I say we've been doing this for about 2-3 months. Once a week we'd have a no screen day. I'd even put a reminder on my phone to make sure that I don't forget, and that I remind him the day or the night before, so that he is expecting this day to come. So I found that when it's just like out of the blue, that it does actually cause a bit of a fuss. So at the beginning he was screaming and shouting and saying, I don't like no screen day, I want screens, I want to watch TV, you know, and continue basically arguing with me at the fact that this is like a completely new thing. So what I'd recommend is actually give it 2 or 3 goes without backing down. So essentially set the precedence at the very beginning. So say it's a no screen day and this is why we're doing it, you know, explain the benefits of it, the fact that you spend more time together and have lots of fun, but also give it those few days for them to understand that that's a concept that you're now going to be doing. And actually I will give my primary school, or rather his primary school, the full benefit of it, or rather the fact that they were the ones who introduced it in the first place. They sent a letter around saying they're doing a no screen day at school to create this awareness around, like, you don't have to be on screens all the time. And that's when I started continuing that on, which I thought was such a great idea. So basically what I'm trying to say is give it a go, don't back down, give it a couple of goes, and then you'll be surprised that they basically accept it afterwards. So that's what we found. Even my husband this morning, he said it's just amazing how much he accepts it now that it's been a while that we've been doing it. So there's little to no moaning. It's straight to toys, you know, that he still has his toy box in the corner, and it's just great to see that progress. So let me show you what I've got on the table. So this is the game that you would have seen us play, or him play mostly, this morning. As I said, I got this on a discount, and please, please, please don't use this video to buy new things. Make sure to go onto like Facebook Marketplace, eBay, you know, charity shops, buy secondhand toys. You know, you'd be surprised how much is out there, and is trying out something new. I know that basically the reason I put this out for my son is because I wanted him to do like a toy rotation, or rather I'm doing the toy rotation so that he plays with something new and fresh that he hasn't played for a long time. He's seen this toy loads, but when it's just sitting there, you know, day to day, he doesn't care about it. But the fact that I put it out specifically for no screen day, he then ends up playing with it all morning, you know. It's just amazing how that works. Obviously we do have our favorites still, and he did play with his cars and the mat, which you would have seen. So it's just about toy rotation and secondhand toys. Make sure to make use or try out new toys and new things without basically the price tag. There are lots of activity things that I absolutely love. I find that my son is really active and needs something in order to get him to sit at the table. Otherwise he's running around and eating whilst, you know, running around, which is not great, a choking hazard. But yeah, so these activity things are amazing. So I believe we actually got this from Nanny. And basically it's an easy tear off placemat activities. So it's a really great one to have by the table whilst you're eating. You can even take these with you if you fold them up, you know, to, I don't know, going abroad and trips and weekends away, you know. So they come with loads of different things. Word searches are the new favourite for my son, as you can see. He also decided to colour her in. But there's loads of things that you need to do, whether it's like finding these things, an orange and cookie, you know, there's a cupcake, which is the first one, and then it's up here, you know, that kind of stuff. Word searches, drawing things into, I can spot X amount of rabbits. But then you got loads of other things as well. So it's different themes. It's the fact that it's like, you know, pirates. And I was going to show you this. He absolutely loves like finding the path recently. So it's a great way to basically keep them entertained whilst they're eating without the screen, because he finds that he's like, in order to eat, I need to have my TV. He actually said that to me a couple of times. And I was like, no, let's change this up and basically find some activities for the table. So this one is a great one. This is a seasonal one because it's an Easter related activity book, but also on the same lines, you've got like a whole book full of things to do, drawing. He likes, again, pathways, eggs and things, and he doesn't necessarily do the right thing, but he's trying them out, and that's the main thing. He doesn't have to have a screen in order to try different things out. And as you can see, basket and things, and then you can also colour these in. My son's not too much into colouring, even though he's got loads of pens and pencils. However, it will be great for those who do. So that's like a couple of activity things. Something else that I found that works for my son when he is eating is making up games whilst he's eating food. So the reason I'm going to come over here, and I do apologise for the basket, is because there's a castle here. So basically, we would take this castle, I would put this in the middle of the table whilst he's eating, and then we would basically open up a buffet for these make-believe little soldiers and horses, especially cereal, and then we'd have a bowl of fruit as well. And then he'd be like, everybody, food is ready, and then we'd come around, these little things will come run outside and be like, yeah, I want to eat, nom 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 nom. Basically just using that imagination, and again, like occupying him whilst he's eating without actually using the screen. Last but not least, I wanted to show you the fact that we've got, basically, we wanted to give this to Granddad on Father's Day. Hopefully he's not watching this, but basically he started painting it, and painting is another good idea. Obviously, if it's something small, it's not too messy, and he just needs to finish this. So the idea tonight after school, either we're going to be painting this or the rest of it, or I have also done something crazy. The crazy thing that I have done is actually gone onto Marketplace and accidentally on purpose. Well, I say it's accidentally because I don't even remember why I was on Marketplace. I think I was just bored and having a look, and then all of a sudden this popped up, and it's a second-hand bouncy castle. Do you think I'm crazy? I think I'm crazy. So basically, I actually wanted or had a look at bouncy castles about a month or two ago, because it's the second time running for my son's birthday and his birthday party that I actually rented out a castle. And I thought, well, is it going to be cheaper for me actually to buy one? And the fact that it came out secondhand, and if I used this twice, then I would have made my money back. So or even made better money, as in like in the long run it's actually saved me money. So that's what I did, and the man who was selling the bouncy castle even helped me find a second hand on Marketplace pump, so bouncy castle pump. So we played this yesterday, and I promised that after school we can have the bouncy castle up again. So it's a great way to get him away from the screen and doing something active, and it's basically great the fact that it's been so nice and sunny in the UK. So I do think that it is a little bit harder to entertain him whilst, like, when it's cold outside, when we can't go outside. However, we are making the most out of the weather, and if you wanted to see like morning routines and evening routines, or where I do entertain my son, you can do that. I'll link those down below, because you can see that it doesn't have to be screens all the time, you know. And this is during autumn and winter, you know, when it's raining and cold outside as well. So make sure to go and check those out if you're interested. So we are off on the bouncy castle, but actually later on you'll see us sitting down and doing activities, and I am so proud at the improvements that I've seen in him, and it just helps me basically parent guilt-free as well, because we know that there's a no screen day that we put lots of effort into, and we basically have lots of fun as a family and help him be more, you know, individual and independent. And then at the same time there are moments where I see him like getting better with his, you know, reading and writing, and as he does these word searches, he was actually reading them himself, and he even managed to read a 6-letter word. I was so impressed and so happy with him. So basically everybody's having fun, he's learning through play. I'm basically doing my bit where I can. I don't think I would have had the capacity to do homeschooling, but maybe in another life. But yeah, all in all, we enjoyed our no screen day, and I hope that you do too. Give it a go, see what you think of it, and do let me know in the comments down below if you do. Thank you so much for watching our no screen day routine that we do weekly. I hope that you enjoy this video, and I will basically catch you guys in the next few videos with lots of exciting new content from more clean with me's, thrift with me's as well, and lots of vlogs as well coming up, as well as the extension that's starting literally in a few days time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.